Welcome on into the Ryan Ripken Show, and happy Tuesday. It means it's a brand new week of shows. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. And, man, I wish we had the show on Monday. Hell, I wish we had it on Sunday because there was a whole lot of action in the baseball world. But let's catch you up. We will throughout the show. But the two big headlines for our Orioles conversations today. Well, the Orioles win a few games in a row, and there's just thought that's just lurking in fans' minds. Well, can the boys make a run? We'll discuss that and a whole lot more. I did just mention that a lot happened around Major League Baseball, from Corbin Burnes being injured out there in Arizona, Taylor Walls, an ejection that was very interesting and colorful to say the least. There's a top prospect that is getting called up at the same time. Oh, and that's just not even touching the tip of the iceberg. Dodgers and Yankees played each other. There was some fireworks there. The Dodgers continue to really express their dominance. Oh, gosh. And we could go on and on and on, just like all these trade rumors are starting to swirl as we are still a month and a half, almost a good 2 full months away from it. But it's not stopping people from talking about it. But before we get going into this whole show and I introduce the crew, if you guys don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us get the word out here. And if you're not aware, Ryan Ripken Show, we're based out of Baltimore. We talk about Baltimore and sports, but we're expanding into some lifestyle as well and having a good time with it all. And to help me have some fun as always here, behind the sticks, he's back. He does have the best hair of the group. I will give him that compliment. Mr. Brad, how are we doing today?
Hey, how's it going? Appreciate the hair comment. Hey, I wanted to say, first of all, I can't wait to get into the show just because of all of the shenanigans that happened throughout the entire weekend. Absolutely insane. So that is something that I'm super pumped about. But I also want to shout out our folks that watch from everywhere. Zach and I were just talking before the show started. We got people watching from the Bahamas. We got people watching from Hawaii, as some might say. And then also the insane amount of folks across the pond in Great Britain watching the show. I know we talk about Nick a lot, but there's other folks that from Britain that watch the show too. So actually in the comments, let us know where you're watching from because we love that shit. Let us know. Obviously, we're our Baltimore folks near and dear to our hearts, but we also want to know where you're watching from just to see where exactly how far our reach goes.
Yeah, let us know. And that's the cool part of this, right? Actually had a chance to do a little bit of a taping here before. Wasn't involved with Ryan Ripken Show media, but I'm not going to give that away. But the context was how media has changed and that people can join us live from really anywhere. So Brad's right. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But breathe, Ryan. We have two other people in this studio here. Mr. Zach Bollinger, we're going to see how he did with his bets, and intern Sam. Zach, how we doing?
Doing well. It's a beautiful day. It's just been beautiful recently. I feel like the weather over the past weekend, like it got that feeling of like summer's here. Like before, like we were heavy spring weather. I mean, we talked about, Brad, how many times did we talk about it? Felt like it rained all of May.
All May.
It felt like it rained all of May. I don't know if maybe the weather and the birds winning coincide. I don't know. But it's been good weather. The O's may be fine. I mean,
get the shirts.
Easy.
Bring out the champagne.
I mean,
start throwing hands up.
Something. If not now, when? So, what a day.
What a day. And actually, it's the first day that intern Sam has been down here where it hasn't been cloudy or gloomy. So I got to show him a little bit more of what we have going on here. But intern Sam, as some like to call you, Timu Kev, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's good to finally see the sun. You know, the weekend really gave some hope that this weather for this month and this week was going to be better than the last couple of weeks. And I finally get down here and the sun stayed out. There was one day I was down here where it was sunny for a little bit and then it just completely covered up. And it just been like that the entire rest of the time. So it's nice to finally have the sun out while we're down here.
You know, and some people would say that's a microcosm of what it was like to be a Baltimore Orioles fan for opening day. Whammy, we're back. And then it was kind of gloomy. for some time, but then there's some energy. So maybe that just leads us right into this conversation here about the Orioles making a run, which is brought to you by our friends over at Merritt Clubs. But fellas, you win 3 games. Granted, it's against the White Sox, a team that you have to win the series. And they were close games. It was scratching and clawing, grinding it out, but 3 victories. You found a way each time. Good starting pitching. You had enough timely plays. Now you're going out west. And I know people like to do this when they're so angry with the team. Hey, punt the season, trade them. You go and look at the standings, and you go, damn, there's a chance here that the Orioles could get closer. And could they actually do it? If we ran the numbers correctly, I saw a tweet out there. If the Orioles have 50 games left until the trade deadline, right? Brad, have you seen this tweet out there?
I have. I actually have some other numbers for that too that I just pulled up. So go ahead and finish your thought, because I have some supporting data.
And we know, again, Lloyd Christmas, Dumb and Dumber. If you haven't seen the movie, Zach.
I've seen that one.
Okay. Sam, no chance.
Don't look at me.
Go watch it, because so you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, there is. Now, a team hasn't come back from and to make the postseason with a record that the Orioles had to start off the year, but it was only by a game difference that Houston accomplished that feat. But if the Orioles were to go 32-18 over the next 50, that would put them back at 500. Now, that has to be playing over 600 baseball. But if they're at 500 with 2 months to go, I don't know, but Brad, you got some stats that maybe back up an argument here.
I do. So I just looked at a lot of the teams that had a 380 record win percentage, and there's actually quite a few. It's not like it's some one-off. There's quite a handful of teams that had like a 19-30 or 19-31 record going into June, and most recently. It was, do you guys remember the most recent ones that were doing that poorly that went on to not only maybe make the World Series, but also just make the postseason? It was pretty recent.
Oh.
It was the 2023 Diamondbacks that went to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2023 Marlins also did the same thing. They were 380 going into June, ended the season 84-78. I mean, what a run that was. And the Diamondbacks also went 84-78. 2006 Cardinals did the same thing. That was obviously a great team. 83-78 is what they ended up being. And then the 2008 Dodgers are the most recent teams who have done that. So the Diamondbacks, Marlins did it in the same season, and 2006, 2008 Dodgers did the same thing. Just looking at some other ones here, some other teams that went on to the postseason that were close. The 2007 Cubs were 85-77, and then Twins also did the same thing. Went on to the wild card game, lost that wild card game before the changing of the postseason. But to your point, odds are not great, but it's been done, and the team is talented enough, and there's some players that are also getting healthy enough to maybe get that last wild card spot.
Yeah, and talking about guys being healthy. Hey, the Moo Man, Colton Cowser. Yes. Welcome back.
Hey.
Welcome back. Friend of the show, friend of the program. He always brings some great energy. You know what? He's coming to a team where they're feeling pretty good going out west, because you finally won 3 games in a row and you had this sigh of relief. And then you go, hey, the reinforcements are coming now. There's one. You're hoping Jordan Westberg's going to be soon behind him as well. You're hoping then that you're going to be able to, I know some injuries and the guys falling down, Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle's the downers here, especially when Mountie started to swing the bat better. But then you have guys that are playing at a high clip. Ryan O'Hearn, swinging the bat pretty damn well, one of the best in baseball. Ramon Urias continues to be the guy. You're seeing pitchers start to get going here. Charlie Morton, Dean Kramer removed the month of April, and he might be one of the best pitchers in baseball definitely has top 5 hair if
Yeah.
we're going to go into that category.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I'm not trying to get crazy here. I'm not. But when we look at this, and I'm going to pull up the standings here if I can do that. Is that okay with the group? Sam, is that okay with you?
That's just fine with me.
Let's try.
Let's go to class here for a second. And when we go to class, again, check out meritclubs.com if you guys want some more information here. It's also with the sun getting out. Get by the pool. The pools are wide open.
Hot guy summer.
Hot guy summer or hot guy autumn is what we're trying to establish ourselves as. That's just me. But let me pull up these standings for you guys, okay? And under 3 seconds, obviously, every single time, Zach. Right?
Yeah, it's under.
Under.
I feel like it's rigged a little bit. But
Under. Under.
I feel like,
He, like,
we gotta-
starts
we
it
gotta
before he
slow
says it.
Oh,
stopwatch.
there it
We gotta
is.
slow
Whoa.
stopwatch.
Hey, now. Can you believe it? But right there. So you mentioned the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
84 wins, right?
Yep.
So that means they were 6 games over 500 and made the postseason with one of the final spots. Now, last year, and you're looking at it, it's like, 86 is that threshold. Usually 89, 90 is where we typically would think, which that's going to be an uphill battle. But as we currently see the standings here, the Minnesota Twins have the final wild card spot, tied with the Houston Astros. They both are 5 games over 500, right?
Yep.
If you go down that list, and yes, the Orioles are still down there. They're 9.5 back. So when you're looking at this, the Orioles got within 4 or 5 games at the deadline. Would you think that they were in that race? Anybody?
Be feeling better, certainly. I
Yeah.
think-
Oh, yeah.
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 I think that's getting to the comfortable spot is where they're trying to shoot at this point. Get to a point where it's like, we're not like confident that this is a kind of run we can take and get into that higher ranking for the wild card, but just a spot where you can be like, okay,
Get in the dance.
yeah, like we've got a chance here. We can fight a bit and really try and make as many waves as we can to get into that that second to last spot to get that wild card.
Mm-hmm. So going back to my point, 32-18, the Orioles were to get to 500 and say some of those teams above were playing around 500, that would put the Orioles roughly 4, 5, 6 games out of a spot with 2 months to go. So, and if that was the case, your perception of what you could accomplish changes. Now, I'm not going to go up there and look at what the Yankees are. I feel pretty confident that the Yankees are not going to fall off, okay? I hate to be that guy. I trust what the Yankees are doing.
It's fair of you to say that.
They're a good team, except when they play the Dodgers.
Yes.
But it does pose the question, and this is why you love and hate sports, depending on how you look at it, but mainly love. It's all out of love, Zach. It's all out of love. Crazy things happen in this game, and still right now, the Orioles have played 58 games this season. Right? Doing the math right?
Yep.
So that means they have 104 left. A lot can happen here. A lot can go right. A lot can go bad. A lot can be good, and a lot could be shit. So,
I mean, it literally, we talk about, you say they need to go 32-18 to over their next 50 games to get back to 500 for the season, for the season. Can anyone tell me through 50 games of the 2023 season what the Baltimore Orioles record was?
for what year?
Last year to start the season. What did the Orioles go in their first 50 games?
32-18.
32-18.
How about that?
It is not impossible.
How about
We
that?
have seen this team do it before. So I'm just saying, yes. Is it tough? Yes. Is it going to be a cakewalk? No. But it is not impossible for the Orioles to go 32-18 over their next 50. We've seen this team do it less than 18 months ago. Hell, less than 14 months ago. We've seen it happen. So, hey, let's just have a little faith. Let's see what happens. Let's play the ball games, and then we can talk.
Let them fight for it.
Look, I am with you guys. However, the only way that I would feel better about this is if they get close to 500 over the next 50 games or whatever. And something gets done at the trade deadline, because the last 2 years has not been good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
like don't build me up just to let me down at the trade deadline.
Well, we were just saying we got to get 50 games. The next 50 games could actually then be the nail in the coffin, or it's going to open up that box and go, wait a minute. There's hope. And there's hope right now, but then there's going to be people going, this is the year, it's destiny. But it doesn't matter if the Orioles go out on the West Coast, play bad baseball. It doesn't help if the Orioles are stuck in the mud and still 10, 12 games under 500. 14 is where they currently sit at this period of time, right?
If it's one thing we've learned, it's that it's not always the best teams that make the World Series.
Yep.
Nope. It's the best team at the right time. So the teams that have gotten off to the slow starts, and you mentioned all of them, it's can you ride that wave to the postseason? The Mets were one of those teams last year. The Nationals when they won the World Series in 2019. And I mean, heck, you want to bring up just was talking about this. Who was it? Last year, the Tigers got in and they got hot down the stretch and they won a playoff series. And then they were scratching and clawing with the Guardians. Great series, right?
Yep.
And now the Tigers have rode that momentum. They look dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
What confidence does to a team. We can talk about this for a long, long period of time, but we have so many other baseball conversations to get into. So while we do that and while we get ready, I just want to stand up and say thank you guys for listening. But if you like this, I don't know if this is a good idea, but hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on YouTube and X. And then we put it out on Spotify and Apple and wherever you can find your podcasts. Okay. Am I messing with the height?
I was gonna say, y'all know he's serious when he's standing up to announce this. He's not playing around right now.
Oh, we like to move around the cabin here.
Mhm.
We like to have a good
Just
time.
making some adjustments.
Well, look, and there's Mr. Puppy, Studio Pup, voted best studio pup for the second consecutive year.
Yippee.
Well, he's the only one.
Get out. Don't you ever talk about Ollie that way again. So anyway, we got a lot of MLB topics. One of those we are going to talk about the conversation we had with Matt Holliday, or Matt and I spoke on Friday, and that interview is out, by the way. So if you guys would like to tune in, I did put it out on Spotify and Apple as well, but it's on YouTube if you want to see the visuals, because I always like hearing someone describe hitting and baseball and mindset. Or, what you do for $10 in the minor leagues. You get a good visualization. So
Whoa.
I will never.
$10 is
I
$10.
love Juan Uribe, just one of the greatest, growing up, just an all-around ball player. There's just guys that you remember that you were they were journeymen at times towards the end, but they just were always there and got the job done. Very much will look at, remember him differently after that story.
Yeah.
I'm that is a psycho. That is just, there are just people who are built different, and that is a very good example of it.
Look, that honestly, to me, that's just as impressive as eating soup out of that cooler that Wellesley talked about.
I think it's apples and oranges. I think
Takes the same amount of courage, in my opinion.
I don't know if it's a clean cooler. I'm eating it's soup.
I mean, I get it, but
Okay.
all the hands that go into that thing. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
If people are putting their hands in it, but if they're using a little ladle, and they're scooping it out, or they're using the button,
I don't know.
I'm all about that. So you would rather a raw, uncooked, partially alive fish?
You're not eating it. You're just putting it in your mouth and spitting it out.
Well, I mean, you're ripping its head off.
Boss.
It's not alive when it comes back
It's a
out.
hard
Sugar.
Guess who's back on the show, guys? The most immature guy on the show.
Yeah, it's so great when I can't believe real Kevin now actually is like, oh, I thought Brad was the most responsible. I go,
No, just because I'm the
Where-
oldest. I'm just the oldest one.
That was the craziest thing he's ever said.
it really
What
is
are
up
we-
there.
It's what are we talking about? right
Have you met Brad? Have you been around him for 30 seconds? You kidding me? Oh, goodness. We got a lot of jokes. We got a lot of great energy here, guys. So we will talk about that conversation. One of those about Matt Holliday and Jackson Holliday. That was a hot topic, which, I mean, You guys can be the judge of it, but we will play that clip later on. But, guys, let's go around Major League Baseball here for this weekend because there was a whole hell of a lot that happened here. And why don't we start with one with the former Oriole, right? Because this was someone that the Orioles fan base was disappointed he didn't stay. He signed a big contract out in Arizona. And the reality is pitchers have, how do I want to put it? It's the pitching position is fragile. And for Corbin Burnes, unfortunately, in his last outing, you could tell the moment something was felt in his elbow. And actually, Zach, if we can pull up that quick clip, you guys can see in his face right here. And when you're looking at it, a lot of people have worded, I'm not the best lip reader.
Yeah, from what it looks like, and this is not official, obviously, but it looks like he says something along the lines of, my elbow's gone, it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what kind of people have been saying. And I mean, you can see the look on Corbin Burnes' face there. Also want to point out that this is not somebody who is like one of Corbin's claim to fame, you know, with which got him that big contract was the lack of arm injuries and the durability he has shown. So I think that's what makes this even weirder, or not weirder because it's an elbow injury for a pitcher. I mean, that's not weird these days, but what makes it, I guess, more like, wow, Corbin, because if Corbin would have played his whole career and never gotten something like this, the way he prepares, I mean, you talk about, hell, pitchers from the Orioles talk about how he has a different preparation pretty much throughout than so many others. So I think it is just very interesting to see him also dealing with this for a guy who is kind of the poster boy for, hey, you don't have to put your arm through this strenuous, all these things throughout the year. Just go out and pitch, do your, routine. And he's had great success with it and great durability. So I think it's really, I guess, kind of sucks even more to see from him.
Yeah, and we'll get into the next part of this where Corbin then was asked, what happened? So after the game, Corbin Burnes was talking about it, which we'll get into here in just a quick moment. But Corbin Burnes, in general, what I would like people to know, sorry, mind switching it back to me.
Sorry.
You're good.
Trying to get shit done.
You're good. You're good. But I'd like to play this clip now that Corbin was asked about it. Did you feel the pop? Usually when an elbow injury happens, they go, well, you can hear a sensation. But Corbin gave an interesting answer, and then we're going to react on the other side. So, Brad, can we play that clip?
Kind of really started to get tight on me. Obviously saw the velo starting to drop, and the movement of the pitches was not where we wanted to be. So we kind of got to the point there in the fifth inning that tried 2 or 3 times to put away Abrams and just couldn't do it. And just got to the point where the tightness was just too much that weighed him out and didn't feel like we needed to push any farther. So hopefully we caught early. Hopefully it's not bad, but we'll see.
How concerned? What's your kind of concern level right now?
I've never had anything like it before, so I really have nothing to compare it to or know. My body does a pretty good job of telling me when I need to not do things and when I can push things, and it was telling me not to push it. So hopefully it was me kind of shutting things down before it got too bad. But yeah, I won't really know until we look at it.
How's the pain right now? And the adrenaline's kind of worn off.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got another 30 or 40 pitches in me. I I feel it, but again, it could just be my body saying, "Don't do whatever you were doing." So, standing here right now, I don't feel it. But if I were to go pick up a baseball and try to throw it, I would feel it. So, that's really all I got.
I love that little joke he threw in there. I got 30 or 4 left in the tank, but no, I don't. I actually don't. I feel for him, and Zach, to your point, he's never dealt with something like this. And to even put it even to more context, since he took over as a full-time starting pitcher, it was in 2020 where he had 9 starts, right? The previous 2 years, he wasn't starting games. He hasn't had an ERA north of 3.39. And heck, that was the only year that was north of 3, period. And in innings-wise, in the full seasons that he has played, let's go to 2021 up until this year. Corbin Burnes, 167, 202, 193, 194. To put it in perspective, he's a workhorse. He's going to give you the innings. He's going to eat those innings up. And by the way, he's going to go out there and do a damn good job. He had a 2.66 ERA for the Diamondbacks so far this season. Guys, as you know, when we hear these injuries with elbows, the Diamondbacks are going to have to prepare to not have him for a very long time. There's a chance that he could have to deal with a Tommy John situation when it's just to the elbow. And it's a reminder for those, if you didn't know, yeah, you don't have to have necessarily that pop, but the damage can already be done if it gets to a certain point. So we'll see what happens for Corbin Burnes. It's the reality of the business, but that's one great pitcher that is going to be on the shelf here, which is just an added list every single year, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. On a positive note, though, guys, I love these stories because I love when guys make their debuts or they're getting called up. And no, it's not a Baltimore Oriole that's getting called up right now. There's another top prospect out in Kansas City, Jack Caglianone. Top prospect for them. It's hitting balls everywhere except keeping it in the yard. Literally, it's going out of the park to right, left, center. You name it, he's doing it. And Jack got called up, which they're having comparisons that he has power like Ohtani and Aaron Judge. That's what Jeff Passan's saying. Jim Bowden's saying Jack is really Matt Olson. Matt Olson's one of the best first basemen in the game. That's all interesting, but then there was another conversation that we saw that was on CBS, and David Sampson talked about how he was shocked that Jack got the call up, but more from the business side. So let's play that clip for you guys, and we'll react on the other side.
Has done is the single most irresponsible move I've seen in quite a long time. If he's going to be that good, how do you call him up now where he will hit arbitration a full year earlier than if they had waited till after around June 17th? We waited to call up Miguel Cabrera until after June 17th, and therefore we got an extra year at the minimum. I have no idea how a team that's not in the top 10 of payroll is not paying attention to dates. And the Royals forcing the issue, that's a bunch of horse hockey. You take the extra 2 weeks because it gives you an extra year, and it compounds itself in arbitration. This is a $10 million decision they made. He better be Vladimir Guerrero Sr., and he better start now. But to me, the GM said, oh, we're not going to make a move, until the team is hot. Whatever. I don't know what they were doing here, Matt. I would not have done that. Now, of course, he could get a full year of service time if he finishes top 2 Rookie of the Year, in which case it wouldn't matter. But he's got to finish top 2 in Rookie of the Year. But I guess as Vladimir Sr., he may. But for me, this is irresponsible.
So David right there is saying that, and this is the business side, team control. They waited 2 more weeks that the Royals would have 1 more year of control under their belt. And that's the game that teams play. Well, let's not sugarcoat that.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And he's saying that's a $10 million decision because that's what they could lose up to that for Jack being called up 2 weeks before. Now, he's going to have to go on a bender to win
top 2.
Rookie of the Year or top 2, right? Because you're halfway through the season. So the odds of getting that year anyway are working against them. But for the sake of winning, Zach, you mentioned it right before we came on, the Royals want to win. And they felt like right now, hey, hey, Sam, there you go. Throw it out the window.
Good catch, Sam.
Good catch, actually. Yeah, don't actually throw that out the window.
Yeah.
But they want to win. It's not about the business right now.
Yeah, and pretty much what Sampson's saying is it was a stupid decision because the Royals didn't do what 99% of fans hate about the rookie deals and, beginning start to people's MLB careers, because this is just blatant, timeline manipulation. This is service time manipulation. And he wasn't even hiding that this is what he wanted them to do. I'm proud of the Royals. Say, screw it. We think that this player is ready to come up. He has done everything that he can in the minors. We have a fun team that is putting up some fight, crawling back into it. Why wouldn't you bring up that guy. If the Orioles were showing some fight and Sam Basayo was, doing what Jack Cag is, and he's going out, and you feel like, Basayo by himself is already doing majority of this at much younger. But you would be, if you're an Orioles fan, you're like, yeah, this guy can help. He's our best chance at first base. I get the whole money part of it, but I think sort of like analytics where it's like you can't judge a heartbeat and stuff like that. You can't look at this, as, in 6 years down the line, we're going to be upset about this. You look at it as we have a fun young team that can make some noise, and we have a very, very, very talented young player who is ready to contribute. Bring him up. Why overthink it? I get, maybe in 6 years they look back and they're upset about this, but that's if I'm the GM, I'm sorry, but I would love that's potentially the GM in 6 years problems. Go for it.
That's bullshit, in my opinion. 2 weeks is all you needed. Don't hate the player, hate the game. These are the rules, the confines within the CBA. You know what the game is, and don't think for a second that the players aren't thinking about not extending. We talk about that all the time. They don't want to get extended because they're playing their game too. So from a GM's perspective, from an organization perspective, if all it took was 2 weeks to ensure another year of arbitration, I'm taking that, especially with the talent that this guy has. I'm on the GM side of things. I'm on the business side here. It was a dumb decision, in my opinion.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. The Royals they were hoping to bring him up when they were firing on all cylinders. That's what J.J. Picola, the GM, said just a week or so ago. Hey, we want to bring him up when we're humming.
Yeah.
But it can go two different ways. And I said before, I don't want Sam Basayo nor Kenny be the hero when he comes up to Baltimore. And he still has work that he needs to do. He's very young. And Jack's in a different situation. Jack was on fire. Hitting 320 in the minor leagues, 15 jacks, 56 RBIs. Everything that was thrown at him, he was having success. And this Kansas City Royals team, the only reason I'd say, hey, screw it, bring him up, if you think that him coming up is actually going to be the jolt that sets this team going, because Kansas City's in an interesting spot. They're 2 games above 500, right? And if he comes up there and starts banging out the get-go here, and this team catches fire, Kansas City can look to this move and say we were right on point. And then say they don't catch fire and it's 2 weeks later and they bring them up and they don't make the playoffs or something happens, that's where my mind goes. But the business, yeah, I get the business. It's
a huge risky move.
It's a huge risky move, but you know what? I hope fans, if you're out there, I hope you appreciate it like you said, Zach. I mean, Sam, win? Do you want to win now? Or are you more of a business guy?
And I will also say we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We might be sitting here having this argument, and we've seen it with Bobby Witt Jr., we've seen it with Salvador Perez and the Royals, and then in 2 weeks they announced some 10-year deal with him, and that's like they didn't care.
Right.
Either way. So if that happens, then I think – but I do agree. It's one of those things in 5-6 years they might be looking back like, damn, those 2 weeks, especially if they don't make a noise. Now, if he comes up, like you said, Rip, he starts taking off, he's the, quote unquote jolt they needed, and he pushes them over the top. Then I do think I agree with just, if he's ready, he's ready.
Over 2 weeks, though? 2 weeks.
I'm just saying we've seen a lot of crazier things.
That's why I feel like Kansas City has something planned, because Kansas City is very aggressive. And who is Jack Caglianone's agent?
Yeah. I think in the extension.
That's why I need to know.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say in Baltimore, we can offer intern Sam his services
are coming to an end.
Yeah, it is coming to an end here soon.
I've only got a few more days left. I think I'm going to get one more run behind the sticks on Thursday.
He is.
Yeah. And
one more run.
About going to be the end of my tenure here.
And then 120 squats from our friends over at Merit Clubs. Minimum per leg.
Per leg?
Yes.
Jesus.
There you go. Hey, you don't like it? Play better. That's how I look at it right now.
Rip likes to kill you.
I want the best version of you. Is that too much to ask? I just want you guys to be happy, healthy, and your spirit's sometimes broken. Right?
Sometimes it's, tough love. That's what it's all about.
Tough love it is. It's like in Talladega Nights. They're trying to take out or trying to get Ricky Bobby back to being Ricky Bobby. And they said, tough love it is. Wake up, idiot. Right? You ever seen the movie?
No, but I've watched the.
Okay. Now I'm going to stop you right there.
Jesus.
I'm going to stop you right there, Sam.
goes.
You were doing well. I'm going to stop you
then-
right there. And then you said you're sounding a lot like this generation over here, Brad, right over there.
Also, just because I was looking up if Jack Caglianone was a Scott Boras guy. Did you see Scott Boras catch that foul ball and not give it to the kid behind him?
No.
Yeah,
that
Scott
sounds like
Boras caught a
Boras.
foul ball in the Yankees-Dodgers series, and like one of those things where it's like a foul ball behind home plate, and they're like, and just out of the reach of Will Smith. They're like, the commentator's like, oh, that's Scott Boras who just caught the ball, and then obviously not knowing he's on TV, just very blatantly kept the baseball with children behind him, and everyone's like, rule number one. Especially, I think if you're an agent of these baseball players, you've gotten a few probably memorabilia from. Give it to the kid. What are we doing here?
It's all about the kids.
Give it to
It really is.
It's all about the kids. It's about the experience there and about the pups. There's Ollie down there. We did mention Sam Basayo's name. So Marcus, hey, how you doing? Unless Sam is hitting 1,000 in the minors, he has a hole in his swing. Can't hit what? Curves, change-ups. I don't think it's fair for me to say that Sam's has a hole. I think it's just with young players, they're going to have weaknesses and they have to go through growing pains. I don't care how good you are. You can go back and look at some of the greatest players when they came up. There is a learning curve when you get to the big leagues. And for Sam, especially when you're 20 years old, like that's the crazy thing is that Sam Basayo, Orioles Sam, is just a little bit older than Insurance Sam, and he's just graduating soon, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the context, right? Where you have to learn, you have to adapt. So Sam Basayo, I think it's just reps. He needs to see consistent arms that know what they want to do over and over and over again. And right now, I think you kind of let him figure that out, and that can change here in a couple of weeks. But for now, or it's not a couple of weeks, couple of months, I'm cool if Sam doesn't come up the whole year. I'm just saying. And no one's a bigger Sam Basayo fan than me. I'm thinking long-term, long-term. But also for 2 weeks, if we're playing the business side, GM Brad over there, you want to make sure you don't start that clock.
That's right.
There you go.
Mhm.
But you know what? It's an interesting storyline. But for Jack, he is definitely going to be one of the most watched players moving forward. And I can't wait to see his debut and what he continues to do moving forward. Zach, you're giving me that look.
No, I love the internet because I went to go find the
Scott
video
Boras.
of Scott Boras, and people are actually outraged at ESPN because ESPN's headline was Scott Boras catches foul ball, and they're like, it blatantly went through his hands and he caught it on the ricochet. And I'm like, it's not that deep, people. So people are saying ESPN is. They also are saying that Boras was trying to negotiate a $100 million deal with the kid behind him. So opt-outs included.
Don't you love the internet here?
Yeah,
But-
opt-out off after authentication.
Thank you for clarifying that last part.
Just in case.
Yeah, but here we have real fast Scott Boras with the kid behind him, as you can see, tie arm top right, doesn't get the ball. It's crazy.
Crazy. You know what's also crazy? If you're not subscribed to the Ryan Ripken Show. So hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show, we do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube and X, and we are on the audio platforms there. I think people are starting to figure that out a little bit. Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, and then hit that rate and review. The more we can push it out there, the more we can get more listeners, viewers, and allow this to continue to grow. And shout out our Holy Shirts and Pants fam, the Rips Good Kids, the channel members. You guys have been the backbone for us. And as we have grown, and we have some tremendous sponsors, as you can see on the bar right behind me as well, Deep Eddy, Iron Rooster, Merritt Clubs, and then our friends up in Charlestown, West Virginia, that we'll get to look at Zach's past week yet again. And we know it wasn't good, but
Already shaking his head.
we appreciate you guys. And if you want to be a channel member, click that join button. It's next to the subscribe button and very close to the like. Just do the trifecta. But thank you guys. Appreciate it. Now, let's talk about a little bit of the craziness of this weekend, right? Craziness. And Brad, you were all fired up this
my
past
God.
weekend. So in your mind, some of the craziest moments. Do you want to list them off? Or you want to list off a crazy moment?
There were so many. I actually put a poll out as well. I mean, this doesn't even cover half of the craziness that happened over the weekend because there was one ejection that I put up as an option in the poll. There's another one that also was like absolutely insane. But today's poll was the craziest moments in baseball this past weekend. The Yankees losing 18-2 on Saturday.
Good.
And those 2 runs were 2 solo shots by Aaron Judge, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the only runs that were scored were by one man. The Nats putting up 9 runs before an out was recorded in the Diamondbacks game. So they scored 10 runs total, I think, in the first inning, but 9 runs before the first out in that game. At the Diamondbacks actually kind of made a little bit of a run, try to come back in that game. So it was a little bit closer.
Kind of came back.
It was a little closer. It was like what?
I think
11
ended up scoring
11-7, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. Plus the Angels, for the first time in Fenway Park, meaning the first time since 1913, I think is when Fenway opened up, hit 3 home runs in the first inning. So a visiting team in Fenway hit 3 jacks in the first inning. Never happened in over 100 years at Fenway. Then Taylor Walls, I spelled it wrong. It's spelled well. I spelled it Wells, but it's Taylor Walls gets tossed out over his hat tap in that game, which was absolutely insane. There was a couple of other things that happened. I actually put it in our group chat as well. JP Crawford's insane bat flip. Anybody see that?
Yeah.
Holy shit. And then Carlos Correa getting tossed out from the on deck circle.
Wild. And then Rocco Baldelli you get out of here too.
That's just a fraction of the craziness that happened. Obviously, we talked about Corbin Burnes and a bunch of other stuff, but like just between Saturday and Sunday alone, that was all the things that happened.
I know. It was a very, very active Major League Baseball weekend. And heck, when we make this 4 or 5 days as we continue to grow, then we can come on and talk about it right then and there. But you know what? I did want to talk about the Taylor Walls situation because I do have that video set up right here. So I'm going to pull this up. So if you guys are wondering what Brad was talking about here, come on. Here we go. I'm going to pause. So as you can see, this is the pitch, and it's low. It's not egregiously low, but it's a ball. I mean, if I was hidden right there, I'd be pretty ticked off.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And it's a important part of the game. There it is, Taylor Walls. He says a couple words back there, and he's going to call time, but also say, I don't think that's a strike.
I was trying to read his lips to see exactly what he said. We need the expert John Boy in here, but like, could you pick out what he was saying?
Let me go back and look at this a little closer. I've been trying to pick it up myself.
I mean, that was just not even close.
I mean, right there, I have. So he says time right there. Time, and I got to slow that down specifically. I know John Boy definitely has it, but here's the tap part that the umpire took
issue with. And in general, some guys that is a thing that they do to even reset. Like some guys just like to tap to. That's their batting routine. Some guys change their gloves. You can tell that was a thing for him to try to maybe just resituate himself. The first tap, especially to me, seemed that way. I'm trying. Yeah. There it is. Like to me, he's getting set, but the umpire says, no. You tapped your helmet. You're gone. So we should explain the significance of tapping the helmet as well, as you're seeing things get even more heated. The tapping of the helmet refers to the minor leagues right now with the ABS system being able to challenge balls and strikes. So it was almost kind of like an homage to that with what I guess the umpire took that as. And so that's what prompted him to basically eject Taylor Walls. And right there, we can just keep going back to it. Right there, he's adjusting his helmet. For me, like he's grabbing the helmet. Yeah. That ain't a tap. Like he is grabbing right there. He's situating the helmet. After that, though, I mean, I'm thinking that maybe there could be some validity to that. Does anybody else think that? There is a tap for sure. Yeah. But in my mind, that is not worthy of being ejected.
Absolutely
not.
No. Are you kidding?
No.
I mean, come on, dude. Like, dude doesn't agree with
The
the,
Walls
with the
gets
call.
heated.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I'm just as heated.
Oh,
here.
absolutely. Like, come on. Like, if you're the ump in that situation, like, are you seriously going to take that much personal offense to somebody disagreeing with your call? Like,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
oh well.
Yeah.
Intern Sam, you're learning a lot here. I would love to say in sports that
He's going back. He's so mad.
For second.
Furious. And look, it goes back to, I think the initial thing was him adjusting his helmet. Was there maybe additional taps? I'd have to go back and look if that's his routine. But in general, for me, you missed the call. It wasn't egregious. He didn't draw a line on the ground. Let it go and move on, especially if you're in the wrong. Now, if it was really blatant, like truly, you draw a line, you start to make more comments, I'm all for saying, all right, dude, see ya. Like you crossed the line. That's not enough for me where you cross the line to get to that situation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just very particular about certain calls. And back in the day, you could say a lot more to umpires. And they'd give it back to you, Sam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'd give it back to you right then and there and be like, well, damn, okay, we're going to do this. But I kind of respected that. It's like, hey, get it out of your system.
Yeah.
And let's play ball.
And then I kind of feel like that's kind of what that was, right? That tab is just kind of like a momentary release of frustration, right? Like just an attempt to like get something out of your system, get ready for the next pitch, kind of deal like that. And to, respond to that in this guy is gunning for me and is trying to like embarrass me on the big stage. I got to get rid of him right now. That's weak.
That umpire was Charmin soft.
Yeah, like that's just really immature to do. Like you're a grown ass man. Like you can't just like take a minute, be like, okay, this guy's maybe is definitely not happy with me. Oh well.
Did anything happen before this? I was trying to find.
Well,
that
so
out.
Sean Whipple actually just put up a good point. I don't know what the validity is. No offense, Sean. Says players were warned early in the year not to tap the helmet because they were the first week or so they knew the rules.
I think it's definitely a more talked about. The gesture is definitely a more talked about situation because of the minor leagues. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But the reality is, in my mind, the way it goes, like if Taylor had backed up and then fixed his helmet and then just like tapped and then got into it, but with him going and he fixes it and then taps going in, to me, like even if it is a troll, for me, like I would even, if I'm really trying to make a point, I would have really drawn it out there and be like, man, can't wait for this system.
Don't pull any punches on that then.
And I'm curious. I wonder if nowadays, if you said can't wait for this system, you might get rung up because you're not allowed to argue balls and strikes. So anything around that, it can be close. Now, when you say you're not allowed to argue balls and strikes, you're going to say like, hey, that's off. That's a bad pitch. Like you can argue that, but if you take it a hair further and that's where this line, I can't tell you where it is anymore. Because I remember at the time I could be like, hey, I took a pitch and it was off the plate and they called it a strike. Be like, hey, Tom, I can't reach that. That's not a strike. Because no, I got that there. And I'd be like, I disagree. Like I'd say that. And then if you rung me up again, I would say words paraphrasing, but you gotta give me a chance, but once you make it personal, that's where it's like, hey, you're gone.
Yeah.
You ever get tossed?
No, but a couple times, like I've told you, it's been close.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of shouting then one time from the dugout. I think the most I yelled at an umpire was the same situation. It was Tom actually. And he rung me up on a pitch the day before, or earlier in the series. I forget the context of his next game. He was then umping first base one of the next games that we played. And I hit a rocket down the line late in the game. We're trying to make a comeback, I think. And it's fair. It's down the line, but it is fair. And he calls it foul. And of course, what happens right after that? Pop out, get out.
Yeah.
And I'm down there, and he says something to I run down the line. I go, you screwed me there. Used a different word. And so Tom sits there and goes, if you don't like, you should have put it there, or you should have hit it better. And I go, hit it better. I smoked that thing. And so I just stand on the top of the step and I just keep jawing because now I'm ticked off. If you get confrontational with me, I'm going to bring it back to you.
Yeah.
And we had a moment. He let me wear him out a little bit. He didn't toss me though. So I give him credit for all this. The respect is, okay, if you're going to give it to me and I can give it back to you and I don't cross this line and I didn't take anything personal.
Yep.
I just said, it was bad. You're doing a bad job. My career's on the line and a couple other words. And he kept bringing it back and we left it. And that was it. And then I had him the last game of the season that year. And he goes, last game of the season, Ryan, behind home plate. Yeah, Sam,
Nice.
You know what he told me?
What did he tell you?
So on the last day, we already clinched the playoffs.
Mhm.
It's a day game. You're not of age yet, but we had a lot of celebrating the night before because we clinched.
Of course.
Day game, and he goes, "Hey Ryan, Tom, good to see you." He goes, "Big strike zone today. I'd be ready to hit." And I'm sitting there going, "Damn."
All right.
Like, I really can't see the ball too well right now. Got to hit my first at bat, and luckily it was good.
Mhm.
But I swung at everything. And he was right. It was a big zone because people wanted to get out of there.
Mhm.
So, no. When Sam, you start yelling at me, not yet. When you graduate, then then you can become an adult here. I can yell at Brad, can yell at Zach, obviously yell at Kevin. But.
There has been yelling in this studio before.
There has been yelling. You know what? It's all out of love. All out of love here in this studio.
Very passionate folks in here when the cameras are off.
These are people who care. These are folks who care.
We've had some time.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what makes us better.
That's what makes us better.
We're better for it.
We are better for it. You know what we're better for? You guys tuning in for it. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube and X. Our backbone is around baseball, but we also are getting into some more lifestyle opportunities in the community. So every Wednesday, we're cooking it with Kyle and the Iron Rooster. So tomorrow, we'll be back at it. We'll be cooking up, talking sports, as we always do. And then we'll be opening up Bar Ripken, just like we open up Cafe Ripken. We'll make some drinks, and eventually we're going to have more and more people on to talk about some of the good deeds that are going around, not just in the community, but foundations that you should be aware of. We are expanding, and it's all because of you guys, so thank you as well. As we continue on, trying to think, Dodgers, Yankees, obviously we got into. We can go back to that poll moving forward.
I know that it's the lowest on here. But the Angels hitting 3 home runs in the bottom or top of the first in Fenway for the first time ever, I feel like is a little bit of an understated thing.
I think it's because it's like a home run. Like people are going to be like, oh, 3 runs. I think it's because it's like you see 3 home runs hitting an inning happen. I'm not going to say decently, but you see that happen every once in a while. I just think people, like you said, I don't think people truly understand they've been playing games at Fenway since
1913.
Yeah. And that is a long, that's 112 years without that ever happening.
Yeah.
So I think it's just people don't truly even when I think about it, I'm not even giving it justice to how insane that is. Yeah. That's the first time it's happened, especially with the monster. I feel like you get 3 right-handed bats there that just kind of on a windy day out there.
Yeah.
I feel like the ball flies.
Or the pesky pole.
I would think that some team would find 3 eventually, but that's crazy. First time.
The more you know right there, because I will say Fenway, the monster, it's very friendly to right-handed hitters and lefties, actually.
Yeah,
being honest.
for sure.
But going to right center and dead center, that's deep. It's deep at Fenway.
It's 420 dead center, and it's not is normal. Well, it's just randomly it's up normal, very deep.
And that's crazy. That's
center.
Dead center of Fenway Park was what old Baltimore used to be last year. It felt like it was 480 feet.
And you're talking nearly 18,000 games, and that hasn't happened once.
Yeah.
18,000 games. That's crazy.
That's a once in a generational thing. Few generations.
Yeah.
Who knows if we'll see it again?
Sam, you might think the 1900s don't exist.
Hey,
how you're 2007?
2007.
Goodness gracious!
Holy shit!
That's the first time I felt.
I graduated high school 3 years earlier.
This is the first time I felt old on this show.
That is an accomplishment in itself
Yeah.
because he is
I'm
the
sorry,
baby of the
I'm
show.
sorry to have to be the reckoning for you, Zach.
Oh,
it was bound to
goodness.
happen.
First time.
Oh,
I'm
goodness
7.
gracious.
That's crazy.
All right. You know what, though, with all of the baseball chatter, and we talked about some of the news around Major League Baseball for the weekend, because it's not even halfway through the season, but because we're into June and even May and there are struggling teams, doesn't stop people from talking about what teams should or shouldn't do at this point. I mean, Jeff Passan just had a tweet out there recently and a story out, right, Zach, of the Orioles forget the season has already happened, but then he said what they should do is, well, their best player right now is Ryan O'Hearn. You should look to trade him. Now, Jeff Passan also put out a list of other players that could be available. I mean, Zach, do you have that article with the Orioles or
Yep,
there it is. So there it is. Objective, forget this year ever existed, and best player available, first baseman Ryan O'Hearn.
And then later in the article, he listed the Mets, their best option for trade would be to get Cedric Mullins, and the Mariners were Ryan O'Hearn. So 2 guys that I think would be the ones to go. But that's kind of his what to do before the deadline for each team. For the Orioles, it was forget this year ever existed and trade everyone.
Yeah, that's assuming the Orioles are sellers by the time the trade deadline comes around.
Mm-hmm.
And also, even if they're not sellers, you're going to have to put a line in the sand of who is staying put. It's the same conversation we had last time about Cedric Mullins and Felix Bautista.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Hearn, it's interesting to me because Ryan is a pending free agent.
Yep.
So if you sign him or you trade for him, it's a rental, right? So the team that trades for him, you're hoping that you'd want to extend him, is in my opinion.
Yes.
But if you're the Baltimore Orioles and you don't have a left-handed bat that's a first baseman right now, and Ryan O'Hearn seems to be in the prime of his career that can probably be extended for 2 to 3 years. Also, he loves being a Baltimore Oriole. Don't dismiss that by any means and tell me it's a business. I told you there's players that matter to organizations, and yes, some can price themselves out, aka Anthony Santander, I think, was a good example. Beloved, but the price tag for him got a little bit too high. The Orioles made a choice to not re-sign Austin Hayes, so they traded him, or extend him, I should say.
Yeah.
Price point is still kind of low for Hayes. Why he can't stay healthy is his big thing. But Ryan O'Hearn, I'm looking at that and going, well, damn, who's going to pick up the slack if you trade him? And that's where I'm kind of standing at it with all the players that could be available. And there's a lot.
My thing too is we talked about this with Seti about being the veteran presence. I mean, he is the veteran after all. So is Ryan O'Hearn, and a very young team. And it's only getting younger, by the way. I think it's really important to have guys like Ryan and Seti both. Losing both of them would be a tragedy, in my opinion, for this team, because if those two are gone, or even if one of them is gone, that means the team got even younger and the experience is even less than what it was before.
And the vibes, man.
Well, not even just that. Like, players know that it's a business, and like that's fine. But like when it comes to just experience in the overall, clubhouse, like I just think that would be a huge mistake to let both of those go in a time where the team's pretty fragile too.
Yeah, I think that's all what goes into this conversation, right? And when you're looking at other teams and you're looking at what you can get for more, when you look at bigger deals, pitchers that get traded at the deadline seem to have that juice when it comes to the prospects or players you get back. Position players, unless it's a superstar type name, like when you look at Juan Soto, right? Superstar, that package might go down as one of the best trade packages we could see. CJ Abrams, James Wood look like stars. Wood's a superstar. Mackenzie Gore looks like an ace, and Robert Hassel III looks like he can have some serious staying power.
And that's good. And that's good.
Yeah, and the thing though that I'm going with here is that's for a premier in his prime, even before his prime, technically, and a guy like Juan Soto. I don't know if the juice is going to be worth the squeeze, even for as great as I think Ryan O'Hearn's doing. And I think if you're looking at value, are you valuing whatever that selling high on him, or are you going to value that, hey, we're going to be right back in this next year, Ryan O'Hearn, we're expecting to be a good hitter for us for the next 2 years. Is it worth it? Now, other pitchers like Sagano could be interesting. He's a little bit older, but he's pitched really well. Eflin, sure. I just have a tough time thinking of what that value is you're going to get back for a guy, because I do think, as much as I love Ryan O'Hearn, I love the dude to death. I think he should be a Baltimore Oriole.
Same.
I'm trying to understand what his price tag is going to even be, and what is a team going to be willing to sell for a 31-year-old. And 31, we share the same birthday. So I'm saying this with a guy that is the same exact age. At his age and the position that he plays, what is that value going to be? Because he's not going to be a 30, 40 home run guy either. He's just going to be a really, really consistent, solid player that will have his strengths and will have his weaknesses. So I think we'll find out, but a lot of names here as we go forward. And why would teams do that? Trade season's officially underway here.
That's my other thing. And I know that we're trying to wrap this up, but like, if I'm on the receiving end of Ryan O'Hearn right now, what am I trading for him, and what am I actually going to get for that? That's my thing too. Like, even if the Orioles were sellers of Ryan O'Hearn, who's buying Ryan O'Hearn?
Well, there's a lot of teams that would buy him if they think they can win the World Series. It's the same reason why, for a different circumstance, why Jack Caglianone got called up from the Royals, a player right now that you think can help your team win games. Same concept. You have a guy that can help you get to different places. You'll make a move for him if you think that that's a piece that you need. And again, different circumstances, but the concept applies. If the Phillies are chasing the Mets, okay, well, they have Bryce. That's a wrong example because they have Bryce Harper. But you get my –
that's what I'm saying.
The Mariners are in the hunt. All right, Ryan O'Hearn's interesting. Any team that needs a first baseman that thinks that Ryan O'Hearn can be that staple, yeah, you're gonna kick the tires. I mean, the Padres have said, screw the prospects. Here you go. You get a prospect. You get a prospect, because they believe that, hey, we're all in, and we'll deal with that problem another day. So there are some teams out there, not a ton. So we will see what teams will consider to do.
Padres are only one game back from the Dodgers, so I mean,
yeah,
they're doing something.
And you know why? Gavin Sheets. And by the way, Gavin survived getting drilled. Did you guys see this from the other week or from the weekend?
No, another crazy thing in the weekend.
Oh my goodness gracious. I got to pull up these videos because you guys. So Gavin, I'll get the photo out first so you guys can really get it. Then we're going to get into a little bit more of these Orioles discussions, but I can't even begin to tell you. I'll start with the photo so you guys we can set the scene. Okay. Gavin Sheets, Maryland product here.
While you're pulling that up,
yeah,
shout out to the Rockies for winning their 10th game of the season.
Woo! They're back.
Rocks.
They're on pace to have a worse season than those White Sox last year.
Oh, and I think they're very much, I think it's pretty, like, they have to weirdly pick it up. I mean, not that winning like 3 games over the next 15 would be picking it up, but like,
if the Rockies go 40-10 their next, whatever, they're right back in it. They're right back in it.
History.
They just have to win 25 games to not get the worst of all time.
This photo, it kind of resembles of what's been happening so far for the
Did you check in on him? Is he okay?
Oh yeah. Because he started jabbing me because he's like, well, I don't like your breakdowns of me on the Ryan Ripken show. And I go, well, what? And then he got on me of saying when the White Sox came to town and Ben Attendee was here, it's like, oh, you didn't I blame the Ryan Ripken show for not reaching out. I go, whoa, buddy. I talked to Benny, okay? I talked to a friend of the show here, okay? And it was unwarranted. Gavin wasn't even in the conversation. So I go, clearly, you're feeling okay. Now, obviously, I was concerned because when I show you the video here, 11 times out of 10, the wall's going to win.
Yeah.
And so Gavin was out there in the outfield yesterday.
You can see the indent in the wall. Right?
Oh, yeah. So get ready for the meme. We're going to put Gavin's face right there. And it's going to be that smile. But here's a video. I haven't showed you guys the video yet.
No, I haven't. First time seeing it.
We're going to show you some angles. Let's see this one. I'm not sure which one's being pulled up here, but.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeesh.
How tall is that wall? That's not tall.
Gavin's about 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, so that wall's about 6'3", 6'4".
So you know what I love? He was 100% all the way. That's why I was scared when I watched it, because
You almost caught that.
Ooh. He just gets leveled.
and we actually
He
talked
just
about it. We're
missed
like,
that
man,
ball.
it was tough.
He just missed that ball too.
The indent is crazy, Nick. I agree.
The indent is.
I'm pulling up the other video now so we can get the other angle. So full speed. It is.
He did not slow down
No,
at
not
all.
at all.
So and that, you know what? That's what we teach at Gilman, Sam and Zach. It's you go 100%.
Hit the wall.
And I mean, right there is a good way to look at this. It was
Oh my God! Just face plant.
This feels like it would be a great addition. There was like a short video that was done by Baseball Doesn't Exist that was like showing all the various moments where the walls of stadiums have like come to interfere with the various ways that baseball players play the game. This feels like it would fit right in that video. You know, there's stuff where the ball gets caught in little creases, or it broke a light at Fenway one time and got stuck in the light. This feels like it's very much in the same vein as that.
It was something to behold, and I'll continue to play it. But right there,
It's a nose adjuster. I like that.
and I see this full speed, so 16.9 miles per hour. I love Gav. I don't know if that's his top end speed. I'll be honest.
Okay.
He can move a little bit for.
Nick Moore can run 18. So I would
I still have my reservations. Saw Nick at the Ogden Foundation golf event, which is a phenomenal time.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him going, buddy. First off, he definitely either put some lotion on the legs. He was glistening in the sun.
Of course he was.
And I'm going, all right, well, that's number one, you know, and number two, I don't think that we're getting up to 18, 19 miles an hour.
No.
I don't think I can run that fast, but I think it would be an interesting, I'm not saying I'd win, but I think it might be closer than I thought it would be, you know?
Yeah.
But the last thing, just to close it off here with Gavin, he is okay. The wall did win. And forever there's going to be, we're going to get that photo of Gavin. We're going to save it.
They should what they should do is they should make a little box around that. They should paint it like it's almost like they're framing it on the wall. It's like this is the spot where Gavin Sheets fully face planted into the wall.
I have to say, I'm laughing at this, but if that was me, I would still be feeling it a week later.
Oh, Gavin's still feeling it. When you have a moment like that where you just get smacked, you first have the moment of what the hell happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh no, I'm fine. And then maybe
how did you knock
4 hours later, you're like,
morning comes.
Damn.
How did you not knock yourself out? I mean, you just full blast right in the wall.
Well, he is very hard-headed as well.
Oh wow.
So, you know, he's got that working for him, you know.
We also officially have he has been clocked at 18.34 miles per hour.
No way.
Wow.
That's where he ranks in his I had to do some, calculations, had to turn sprint speed feet per second into miles per hour so we could, get a baseline, but that is what he's been. He actually this year has been the highest he's been clocked at by 0.2.
Gavin's in shape.
Yeah. Actually, he ranks 11th for his position.
Wow.
Which position is that?
I'm assuming
Left field? DH?
First base. Yeah.
Okay.
And 21st for his age.
That's why he's stealing bases.
Gavin
That's why
Sheets.
Gavin's stealing bases.
Yeah, he's in the 41st percentile.
I did tell him we have a Gavin Sheets segment each time to talk about it. So this Gavin Sheets segment is brought to you by our friends over at Merit Clubs, as we always continue to check in.
Hey, listen, if he ends up making the All-Star team, he should just thank us for all the exposure.
Gavin Sheets, he can do it. What can't he do? Well, we do know he
he can't win versus the wall.
No, he cannot do that. But you can't blame him for the effort there. And goodness gracious, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad the nose wasn't broken. and he lived to see another day. And the Padres are having a phenomenal season. And a lot of people have asked me, will the Orioles be in first place if Gavin Sheets was here? I tell them there's a chance. He just has that aura around him. It's the only positive thing I'm going to say about him now. But love you, Gav. You're a good kid. Hopefully you'll get back to be doing your thing out there, which is hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
And we can reanalyze his home run trots moving forward. But what we will do as we move forward, besides you guys hitting the like and subscribe button, we are going to get into the Matt Holliday conversation about his son and with Jackson, because I think that was a very fascinating little soundbite that we have. But before we do that, we should, since we're going over the weekend, we should take a trip up to our friends at Hollywood Casino and Charlestown Races in West Virginia to talk about Zach's failures. Once again, the kid went over.
It's been tough. It's been.
Do we have the video to back it up?
1 second. I'm trying to see why it's not. Oh, that would be because it would be in this one, not that.
Still,
yes, we do have week 3.
Roll the clip.
roll it.
Is it?
I see a good picture of me.
That's
Yeah, it's not a good picture of
this
me.
damn
Zach.
internet.
Don't you?
Try it again. 3, 2.
Wait, let's try it different.
Oh man.
Did you screenshot me?
There's, as Sam can attest, there's a full video here.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely a video.
It's a full video.
I don't understand. I don't see it on my side.
When
It almost was I
when
wearing.
I play it, even just like here, it's playing.
Well, I can tell you right now on YouTube, it's just a frozen picture of Ryan's blurred face.
Yep.
Let's just keep that up there.
Yeah.
You know, all right. Let's like try this. Maybe a third. I'm gonna read down.
How anticlimactic.
I know, for
Just
real.
fucking
This
gassed
really,
you up and nothing.
but gassing up in this point, like we're gassing him up to be over again.
For
No, just
my
the
last
so
six.
Bolly's bets continues
We're
to
on
take a nosedive.
historically
Bolly's bust.
Bolly's bus.
bad run. Okay,
I
let's
don't-
see. Maybe
Yeah,
we just tried to re-download it. Maybe that's gonna help us here.
Yeah.
we're having fun.
We're working
though.
on the internet.
Yeah,
But tonight, I can go over my maybe.
maybe.
He's got it down. He's got it re-downloaded.
We're gonna try part 2. Maybe this will.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the Mondays for us. No,
I don't know what to do right now.
we'll put that video out later. And Laura,
Be
Laura,
out
thanks. How many times you got to pay for y'all's internet?
At least once.
Yeah. Once every show.
We're still working on it, but I don't think that's an internet thing at the moment. That might just be. It's a microcosm. Earlier we talked about for the Orioles and the gloomy days or
Yes.
whatever. This is a microcosm for how Zach's choices have been. But why don't you explain what went wrong this past week? How about that?
Everything. We had just
That's one
guys
way to
getting
put it.
intentionally walked left and right with Aaron Judge. We had Jacob Wilson having his first, didn't get 2+ bases for like the first time in like 3 or 4 days. I mean, it was just, my favorite was Jaron Duran, 0 for 5, follows up the next day with a 4-hit day. I mean, we
Damn.
but we're back, and you know what we're doing? We're done with 2+ bases for the week because we just something's gotta give. So we're going 2 players each to record a hit, get you to about even money. Aaron Judge, Freddie Freeman, each 1+ hit. Just get 1 hit. So it doesn't have to be bases. Doesn't have to be. Just get a hit. 2 guys.
So one can't hit 2, right? So
No, one can't. No, each have to get a hit.
That's
Each
about
have
to
get a
happen
hit. This is
tonight.
what we're doing. We're back.
Yep.
2 for 1.
Freddie's either going to go over and Judge has 2 hits or vice versa.
The worst ones are we've had a few where checking the box score and seeing like 0 for 3, I'm like, damn, just a bad one. Jacob Wilson had 2 balls off his bat that went over 108 miles an hour that were out. And you just got to be like, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So we're back tonight.
You're
That's
back.
where-
You're back on the horse.
We're back on the horse and we're going to get it done.
Is it 0 for your last 9?
No, we're still, what would we be full time? Because we were, I was 4 for 6 before.
And then you've been,
And so I guess 4 for 12.
so you're 0 for your last 6.
Oh, for our last 6. It's
Damn.
but here we're back.
We're getting back in it. Well, hey,
If
Sam,
you're-
we'll bid
Well,
you
on that
adieu.
note,
Hey, Sam, some people want to see what your push-up form was.
some people want to see my push-up form.
Oh, you know
mainly
what?
Rip does.
No, that was asked in it here. It says Sam's packing up. Make him do push-ups.
Oh, I do see that.
That's in. I didn't just say that to do that. Sam, so Thursday, get ready.
Thursday, be ready.
Thursday, be ready.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. See you, Sam.
All right.
Now
Great
get
being-
on out of here.
Great being here. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
If you're
Intern Sam.
Yeah, bye, Sam. If you're feeling like extra risky, you want to bet a little bit to make a lot.
Yeah.
Plus 63.35 for baseball tonight.
Well, hey, how you
Package.
doing?
Baseball tonight's parlay is Cal Raleigh for Jack tonight,
The big dumper.
the big dumper. Fernando Tatis Jr. versus the Giants hits a jack, and then Shohei Ohtani with a jack over the Mets. Those are your 3 home runs for plus 63.35.
I mean, it's not a bad deal. I'm just saying.
A lot
And
of guys who like to hit the long ball.
Yep. And if you're feeling frisky to tail one of the guys here, probably not Zach, but someone's
We'll get
got
back on track.
till he gets back on track. But if you want, check out ESPN Bet. Right now, they got a new player bonus. You bet 10, you get 100 in bonus bets. And that first 30 days, you get ESPN Plus on top of it on them. But you must be 21 or older to download ESPN Bet and use it. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or our friend Rocco DeSangro. Wonder if Rocco's picked up on that I'm using him as one of the parts of it.
Also, British Raven, I think you make a fantastic point. I think I should be being praised for taking the Orioles' losing habits and saving the team. I agree, British Raven. I think that it's honestly big of me,
It is.
to take that on. So
Hey, good for you, Zach.
I'll do the classic Kevin clap for myself. Thank you.
You're a good
Hold the
kid.
applause.
And we will be up at the end of this month to Hollywood Casino up there in West Virginia doing a live show June 28th. Come join us up there. I know they think there might be a Saturday day game, but if you're in the area, we're talking with some Nationals fans. And actually, we're talking with Mr. National himself. Ryan Zimmerman is going to be up there on June 28th. And there might be a special Orioles guest that will join him and join us as well, right up there at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Excited about that. And we have a lot more in store with them and with you all. So appreciate our friends up just
I
about
like
an
this
hour
one.
and a half away.
Jack the Man says Tomo over 3.5. I like that.
Tomo always scares me with strikeouts because Tomo is such just a pure pitcher where he doesn't care. Like, how some pitchers are like, they want to get strikeouts. Tomo's like, if I can get 3 outs on 3 pitches, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Do it.
Make your dreams come true.
Also, speaking of,
He has no idea what that is.
I'm trying to talk some ball over here. Ray Gonzalez back in the league. Third base coach now for the Atlanta Braves.
Hey!
Friend of the show, friend of the program.
Such a good dude, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy. I know that he was saying he was helping MLB with, umpiring, reviews and whatnot. But let's just be honest. That guy's a baseball guy.
Oh, yeah.
He put him in the dugout or put him down the baseline, and he's going back to a familiar place with the Atlanta Braves.
Did you text him?
I haven't heard back from him yet.
Okay.
But I did.
Oh, good.
I did. But only today. So
Oh,
I'll
well,
give him a grace period.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty good at that. The Orioles
I
sometimes
was
just
gonna
give me a
say,
call.
He's pretty responsive.
He's the man. He is the man. It's one guy in Baltimore. I love the people. There's some great people. Freddie Gonzalez is one of those great people.
It's a good kid.
He's a great kid. And I still remember talking shop late at night. We're all living in the same apartment building just out of randomness. We're hanging out there. We're walking the dogs and talking about what could have gone better with baseball. And then why is my dog shitting over there when he should be shitting over there? And all that good stuff. When Ollie was a young pup, when he was just a baby. But, guys, speaking of some more baseball conversations, I think if I'm looking at this correctly, here we go. Hold on. Oh, whoa. Before we do that, I see Justin's comment by this about the lake monsters. Justin's referring to the Vermont Lake Monsters, which we've talked about minor league stories. And Ryan just went to Centennial Park for the season opener up there. I believe it is still exactly as described. Yeah, I wonder if they've actually cleaned out that away visitor locker room, because that had dirt on the ground. We only were allowed to shower there on our getaway day. Other days we were not allowed to shower at that facility. Should I tell one story at one point about what happened? Some team bonding there in Vermont. Burlington's a phenomenal city. I really enjoyed playing there. Had great food, and I told you guys I could not just sit in my hotel room anymore. Yeah. When I was on the road, I need to be active, especially when things aren't going well. You need to clear your mind. Yeah. So we had some very good team bonding, and this was actually the series. I think I told you guys I broke 3 bats on 3 pitches.
Oh, yes.
It's that same series, which talk about demoralizing.
It's Seth Rollins' cousin.
Seth Rollins' cousins were throwing.
Yep.
Exactly. I only brought 3 bats on the trip because I wasn't supposed to play that game and was only 3 up there and we were coming home. Broke 3 in that first game. And I'm like, man, what am I going to do? And so the guys are like, you know what? It's a tough loss. It was a late walk-off, I believe, by Vermont. Came back, said, you know what? Let's go explore. So we did. And there's only a couple bars out there. And I mean, the whole group was out. And we had so much fun the first night. We ran it back the second night. And this is where it gets a little bit problematic. And this is why I'm envisioning this. We had a checkout. I remember I woke up with one of my worst headaches I could imagine. But, you know, the reason why I bring these stories up is because the team bonding, which I'll get to. But imagine this. It's the entire – shouldn't say the entire, a lot of the Ironbirds players are laying on the concrete in the back, on the wall, because no one wanted to be in the clubhouse. And we're all just laying down, sweatshirts over our eyes, trying to keep it as dark as possible or be under the shade. And we got asked to stretch. Like, all right, guys, stretch in 30 minutes. No one moved. No one responded. We ended up winning that game to get back on track. But I learned a lot about some guys that were going through some tough times on the team. So it was cool to see after that trip that they went out there, and yours truly actually got 4 hits the next 2 games. So I had 2 hits the first night, went out again, 2 more hits, and the Birds are back. So that's a little bit of our fun up there in Vermont. But enough about me talking about my glory days, Zach, and going out and maybe having too much fun. Let's talk about the Matt Holliday piece we had on Friday. Yeah. I think it's about time. I think people want to hear about that. So Matt Holliday, one, is a phenomenal guy. He also, they should do a 30 for 30 at some point about the Holliday family, and not just with his sons. There's a lot of great pedigree in the Holliday family. And I consider them a full-on baseball family. And Matt still looks like he could play if he'd want to. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, he is. I even told him that. I said, dude, you look like you could go out there and play a full 162. Yeah. Now he says, no, the body doesn't feel as good as it used to. I'm like, well, I hope I could still be the physical specimen that you are. And he was the Gatorade Football Player of the Year and baseball player. They wanted him to play both in college. And that's one of the stories that you guys should go check out the full interview. But I had to ask him, because what became the hot story in Baltimore? Jackson Holliday is hitting the ball now because he talked to his dad. And so I had to ask Matt just from his perspective, because to me, it was just a father and son having a conversation. But I do love his response, and he gives a really detailed baseball answer of what he saw. And then there was another part that people were wondering about. What's his relationship with the hitting coaches? Well, he answers all that and more. So let's play that clip for you guys. Apparently, huge story that Matt Holliday talked to his son Jackson about hitting, because I laugh at that. We talked about it before this. No one knows their son better than their dad. You spent time growing up with him, and also after the game, are you guys going to talk baseball? I think it's a pretty good bet because I did that with my dad every single time. But it seems like to me then you just talked about the mechanics, but the word feel. So when you're talking about it, I think, is that a fair assessment now what you're telling with Ethan, with Jackson? You got to feel what you're doing and you can make adjustments here, but you don't have to obsess over, am I in this right spot every single time? Because it can go the other way. You're right, where it can just drive you insane because then you're so focused on that, and that can be frustrating when it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, I'm sure your dad would watch you, but I watch his at bats really closely, like, you know, why he didn't swing at this pitch, or is he in position to hit this one, or and I just say, if I wonder, like, were you looking for a pitch there, or just it's fun for me. Like, I just want to kind of know what he's thinking and why certain things are happening, and so like even talking about like the adjustment, like it looked to me like this was feeling good for a while, where he was kind of flatter and on his shoulder in spring training, but then it led to a little bit of early rotation and around the ball a little bit, and he wasn't sort of able to move this way long enough. And so I just said, hey, like when you first started doing this newer stance with the
toe tap,
and the leg kick, that you kind of had your, just little things that of course I'm watching, and I can notice like the littlest thing just watching his stance. I'm like, oh, he's a little bit taller today. I wonder if he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Or he's not as into his legs in this at bat. I wonder if he's doing that on purpose. Like, just so I think I'm doing a good job of healthy watching it and just kind of asking him questions about why he's doing what he's doing. But like you said, I mean, no one's watching him closer than I am. And I'm good friends with the hitting coaches here.
Yeah.
Like, I text with them, and like, so it's not like I'm trying to like sneak him over to a facility and coach him. I want to be just as, look, I respect what they're doing. They're with him every day.
Yeah.
So I have total respect for that, but I also, know him pretty well, and we talk every day about hitting. I'm not here every day, but I'm watching every day.
Well, I mean, what's the ultimate goal then for Jackson, right? Is for him to go have success.
Yeah, be the best player he can be.
So who cares of how it's happening there? So I love that conversation.
Maybe hit better than 299.
Yeah. If only Matt had hit 300, might have a different perspective on what he was able to accomplish. Yeah. But Matt Holliday, 299 career hitter.
Yeah. But it was a great interview. Loved having Matt on the show, and but some really good things that came out of that conversation. One, it wasn't all Matt Holliday that changed Jackson's swing around. He gave credit to the hitting coaches as well.
I think also it's just a reminder, when you're around the game for so long and you're around your son through his upbringing for it, you're going to talk about the game. I think every family, if they have a good relationship, they talk ball. It's a normal conversation, and especially guys that have gone through it. And you see how Matt said, I just noticed certain things because I've watched him for as long as I can remember, right? And so when everyone wants to run around and look at, well, wait a minute, he knows Jackson. Yeah, he knows his son. So he knows what his son's been working on the entire offseason. He knows what his son does every single day, because you know who also was throwing batting practice to him? His dad. It's him. And it might not seem like a lot of movements, not even to the regular person, right? So if you're asking even Matt to go watch other players, because that's when people are going, oh, Matt Holliday should be the hitting coach.
Yeah.
He knows about hitting, no doubt about it, but he hasn't been around those guys like he's been around his son.
For their entire life.
For his entire life. That's number one.
He literally said he said it here. He was talking about, I can tell immediately when Jackson steps up to the plate, oh, he's a little taller right now. Oh, he's not using, it's like, because he knows everything about Jackson's swing. Like, he has been his quote unquote, personal hitting coach his entire life, whether he wants to be or wanted to be or not. He talks about it. They talk baseball every day. It's not like Matt's sneaking him out of the, warehouse to be like, okay, forget everything that they just told you. We're going to actually do this, this, and this. He's in communication. It's one of those things where I think Matt knows Jackson better than anybody, any coach ever will. Not just a fact. It's a fact. It doesn't matter how many years Jackson's in the league. Matt's going to have known his swing his entire life. So he helps with Jackson. I don't think if you just told Adley to go work with Matt Holliday if suddenly Adley's going to be hitting 320 over his next, 50 games. I don't think it's that simple, but I think it works for Jackson. I think it's an incredible resource and something that we've talked about. Having that resource is so beneficial for a guy like Jackson, especially a young player, because he can always talk about with someone who knows what they're talking about, but has also seen his swing his entire life and knows his swing better than any coach ever will.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell that firsthand when I talked with my dad and he would watch me hit. He go, hey, your hands look slightly different. And Matt said it could just be a hair of a difference. And so when he was saying about Jackson was getting maybe rolling over a little bit, and he was saying his words were what it was opening up, or the extension was a little bit more. I'd consider that, hey, you're rolling over and the front shoulder's flying open too quickly.
Yeah.
And Matt's saying, well, we just need that bat path to stay a little bit longer through the zone, the front shoulder staying on. And so it's crazy where your hand placement from here to here can make all the difference in the world. That's the crazy thing for people that don't know what the sport is, that the movement can feel so large or different, but it's really not that different. But when you go through a 162 constantly, it sometimes is really, really hard to pick it up and see a difference. And it sometimes isn't going to work. Not every time, but in this case, you know what, Jackson, he talked to his dad about it. Oh, okay, that felt different. You know what they did? The hitting coaches, everyone's on the same page, and let's work on this. You found it. Let's talk about this. And I love that also. I'm glad that he said that, because I hate that people are pinning against hitting coaches and this team. And at the end of the day, you want the players to go out there and play well. And I think for the hitting coaches, what I feel bad for them is their jobs are going to be on how their players are doing. And, yep, it's their responsibility to make sure the players are in the right position. But if the players don't go out and do their thing, it doesn't matter how much you love that hitting coach or not.
Right.
I know a lot of great hitting coaches, and the team was bad, and the hitters go, well, damn, I got that guy fired. Every team's different, but I did want to point that out there.
So you're telling me Matt Holliday's not going to be the manager next year?
No.
Damn.
Twitter is not going to react well to that.
No.
They
never.
already offered him the job, and Twitter already offered him the job.
Yeah. And
I don't know if he knows.
Oh, then thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vernon. Appreciate you.
There we go.
Ryan for 2026 Orioles hitting coach. You know, the funny thing is, Brad, you saw it walking in. You guys will see this eventually come out with Tom Davis later on. We did a conversation, me and my Uncle Bill, which maybe we'll see Bill in a little bit down the road here. But the thing that we discussed, I was very fortunate enough to be around the game and to learn so much. And I wish things had developed better for me, because my biggest advice that I could give to any hitter, and you hear later in the week, we're going to play another Matt Holliday clip about hitting. When you hear him talk about hitting, yes, there's a certain component that's mechanical and physical. But just like any other great hitter, it's the mental side. And can you conquer that? And if a player can conquer that, you can reach new heights. Superstars are the guys that know what they're doing and they're super talented. The ones that can get by might have the talent, but they don't put it the way that they need to put it together. And then the guys that grind off of straight just grit and know what to make and to do, those are the players that last a long time, but they're not superstar type physical talents, right? So Matt Holliday had so much success because he is a physically imposing player. He's a 7-time All-Star, hit just below 300, Mr. 299. But you get my point. All hitters, they have to know what they're doing. If they don't, I don't care who the hitting coach is, you're going to find yourself in trouble. But hopefully for the Baltimore Orioles, we're starting to see some things turn around. And above all, one of the best storylines is going to continue to be that Jackson Holliday is proving that he has a lot of talent, and he's starting to figure it out on the mental side. And now that he's built confidence, and I love that Manzolino said, hey, you're playing every day moving forward, I think that's even going to help his confidence even more, especially for a guy that finished the month of May hitting 287 and a guy that hit 5 home runs, and a guy that currently right now is still only 21 years old. So, hey, if you're new to the channel and you like these conversations, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here, right now on YouTube and X. And guys, I love doing all this. This show has been phenomenal. It's been fun to look at where we've gotten to so far in our second year of covering sports on the full. Like, we're not even into half of the second year of baseball yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're getting there.
We're not even halfway through the calendar year.
Shirts and pants. But I'll tell you what, I can't believe it's June.
I know. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
In this economy, this
Also,
is moving.
It's going to feel a lot like summer this week.
Yeah.
It's back, isn't it?
Oh,
90 degrees.
90, 95, I think, tomorrow. Gross.
Mm.
Are we done with most of our stuff? Because I have a new thing that I wanted to actually bring to the show.
Okay. Well, I would like to. The one thing, it's not even baseball related, but the Knicks did fire Tom Thibodeau.
Why?
They should. Thibodeau is such a he couldn't. He wasn't going to help that team anymore. You just, in this day and age in basketball, you have to go bet more than 7 guys deep in a rotation, and then just he's a very, I think, talking to my Knicks fan friends, he's a very like, oh, this is working. I will not change this no matter what. So like that's why we got DeLon Wright playing like 14 minutes in the second half of an Eastern Conference final game, even though he should be on the floor, because they started to come back a little bit. And he's like, no, let me just leave my star players on the bench and not take this momentum and run with it. Let me keep these guys out of. I think his time was just up. Although Karl Anthony Towns has now officially gotten Tom Thibodeau fired twice.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
You wonder, just like we said, even winning doesn't always cure when you lose the certain game that I guess that you lose. In this case, the Knicks go back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years and go make it an entertaining series. You know, that they win that first game, it's a way different series, in my opinion. You blew that. That just set up the rest of the way. But that's sports. When you lose, you got to make decisions. Everybody panic. You're fired. That's all I have with that, Brad. But continue on. What would you like to add on?
We thought about doing this, I think, when we first started.
Oh.
But I kind of wanted to bring back this day in history concept. And I'm keeping it strictly baseball related today. But there was a lot of things that happened in MLB history on June 3rd, which I found interesting. So I was going to go over a couple of them and see if maybe you either knew about that or not. So 1932, that was a long time ago. But Lou Gehrig was the first MLB player to hit 4 consecutive home runs in a single game.
Oh,
20-13 victory over the Philadelphia Athletics back in 1920.
Before they became the SAC.
Yes, before they became the SAC, correct. A couple of other things that I thought were interesting. Nolan Ryan had his 11th career one-hitter on this day in 1989 against so the only first inning single was to none other than Harold Reynolds in 1989. Yeah, so these are some good nuggets. Albert Bell. In 1997, on this day, returned to Cleveland as a Chicago White Sox player after signing a $55 million 5-year contract, which I feel like was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, I was going to say back then that was massive.
Ridiculous.
A lot.
Albert Bell, why that's notable, fans pelted him with debris after he got his first hit, which it checks out.
Baseball was different back then. Even the reactions were different back then.
So 2003 on June 3rd, Chicago Cubs outfielder Sammy Sosa was ejected in the first inning against Tampa Bay Rays after his bat shattered.
The cork.
It was the cork game.
It was today.
It was today in 2003.
Yeah, I was going to say there's the big one.
That was wild.
Yeah, there's still some more shit. Albert Pujols hit his 600th career home run.
Gosh, that was what, 2 years
on this day in 2017, bro. Yeah. I know. It was that long ago already. Luis Arias on this day in 2023 went 5 for 5 in a 12-1 route versus the Oakland A's. There was one other one that I wanted to bring up.
Oh, I was thinking of Pujols 700th. I was like
600.
Yeah, okay. That makes way more sense. I was like, how long? I was like, am I completely missing how long ago Albert Pujols retired?
Yes.
That would have been,
Also, this is interesting too. On June 3rd, 1951 was the first time 3 black players occupied bases simultaneously.
Wow. I never even thought about that.
Yep. So that's your on this day in baseball history. Lots of interesting things on June 3rd.
Happy June 3rd.
Yeah.
Happy June 3rd. There's going back to the corked bat. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, when you do cork a bat, that thing flies.
Oh,
the ball flies. That's not like, oh, well, you're still going to have to hit the ball. Yes.
Have you hit from a cork bat before?
Yes.
Really?
There are certain types of bats that even that are similar.
Yeah.
So it's just the force that it allows. It is ridiculous. It feels like it's like a metal bat.
Wow.
Yeah. Like it's not fair.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're not allowed to have it for big league hitters.
Right.
It was a Sammy Sosa, the cork bat, obviously the steroid allegations or steroid use, I should say.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of turmoil there with Chicago with Sammy. And you're talking about with that whole situation. I remember when Sammy came to the Orioles, someone ran on the field and threw corks at him.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember him coming to the Orioles and thinking, what a shit show.
I'm almost positive I watched that correctly. If anyone in the chat can, I think that happened at the Orioles.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was during the Free the Birds era for fans. Remember that?
Free the birds.
Free the birds.
Free the birds.
Everybody wanted Angelos to sell the team, and there was protesting going on. I took my brother to, it was the first game ever, my little brother, and everybody's protesting with the Free the Bird signs. I was like, well, this is an interesting first game to bring a little brother to. But
yeah, that would be a. This happen all the time.
But that was during the same time around like when Sammy Sosa was there.
Sammy. Yeah. Well,
it doesn't even look like himself anymore.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Oh man. I think we got all our stuff out now.
I think so.
About everything.
Put it in the comments if you want to see more of this day in history.
On this day in history.
It's like a little closeout segment. I feel like it's a good closeout segment.
You know what? I also want to take. I want to find a different one where we create like a little smooth jazz segment where we talk about something like we're in a jazz club. You know,
like we just click.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't need. Maybe is it for the history where it's I can hear the little trombone or sax in the back, and who doesn't love a good sax?
Right. Wow.
Like everyone loves a good cowbell.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And British Raven, yes, we have you. I'm mistaken. I haven't mentioned it yet, but we do have the Ryan Ripken Show Discord, which is back and humming. It's humming. So we're rocking and rolling there. So if you guys want to join the fun all over there, the Discord is popping. I'm going to see if I can find the link.
Yeah, I'm logged out.
I got it. I got it right here. In 3, 2, 1. Bang. I think that's the right one. If not, welcome into something.
There you go.
I'll never forget that Kevin day.
Oh, that Kevin day. Yeah, who can forget? On this day, we're going to end up having moments on this day in show history. Is what the goal will eventually be. Do you remember that time? But a lot of great things on the way here. One thing I do want to try to create as well. Oh, let me stand up here. Get comfortable. Because we're gonna have a cocktail segment when Kelly gets down here, my mother. We do have the Iron Rooster, which we're cooking tomorrow here.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. You guys saw how great I am with making a good sandwich. So, Zach, I can put a little extra smack on it, spank for you if you want. I don't think we're making sandwiches tomorrow, though. I got a little bit of a teaser of that. We're getting a little frisky up at Cafe Ripken here. Hey, be excited here. I also would want us to get back into moments where if we talk about how we're judging how the media does their work on the day-to-day, kind of want us to have like that day with we're doing a press conference, just like for your bets again. So, Zach, how's it feel to be 0 for 6? Well, no, it's just we're playing it out. We're playing it out. Like I'm the guy, I'm the media personality going, hey, so Zach, really tough that you lost not just another bet.
I like that idea.
But you lost another bet. And on top of it, you lost people their money. How does it feel,
to bounce back?
Bro, it's so
like
funny.
It's stuff like that.
It's so funny you say that because I was
Mm-hmm.
just talking with somebody about the races. Remember we talked about races over Memorial Day weekend? And it's just like every time a NASCAR race car driver gets in a wreck and gets knocked out of the race, the announcer's always like, oh, what happened? And it's just like, oh, well, I really don't know. It just came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden the number 8 car just came right in my side. And then I just flipped and I just had no idea where I was. It's a real shame though. Thanks for the Summer's Eve folks over there for sponsoring the car. And we'll get them next time. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time it's the same answer.
I think that we should do that with all these other events and even in the day-to-day. So like right now,
We may need to get Nick Moore in here for that.
Oh,
Talk
yeah.
about the home run derby.
Yes.
no one screams 5 o'clock hitter like Nick Moore.
Oh,
He really went there before the game. I'm the best there is. Like he actually like did do that. He's like, you know what? I didn't play as well in the moment.
Apparently he didn't.
He didn't.
Tylen Wallace apparently stole the show.
He told me he got jammed, and I said in the softball game, and he got jammed.
Actually, you know what? As someone who plays slow pitch, you laugh until you get jammed, and then you're like, how the hell did that just happen? Like I've had the worst is like I'll roll over one, and I'm like, what do you mean I just rolled over?
I mean, if I get jammed in a softball game, if I get jammed,
but you also have to
I might swan dive in the heart.
You have to like understand like a softball strike zone. This is what really threw me off. Softball strike zone is very weird. Like it comes at an angle.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes, depending on where you're standing, where you'll be like, oh, that's not going. And then you're like, oh, that's going to come in, like actually hit the zone. You just kind of like just throw something.
Well, and these slow pitch pitchers also put some crazy spin on the ball.
I'll tell you this. This is my pet peeve. When I show up at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning, if the opposing pitcher is one of those guys in his like mid 60s who he is only pitching for that team, it's the worst 2 hours of your life because I've had pitchers try to throw knuckleballs in slow pitch. And I'm like, listen, I get that you've been doing this for like 30 years, 40 years, but can we just toss it over the plate and we just like try to play some softball? There are guys who will be like, I've been quick pitched before. I've been like pump faked, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like everyone just toss the ball over the plate.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It is so annoying when I'm sitting there. It's 9 a.m. I'm not feeling the greatest, and I'm trying to hit a curveball in slow pitch, trying to read spin.
And why aren't you feeling well in the morning?
Because of the decisions from the night before. Probably because I'm off of an hour and a half of sleep.
I can't. You know what? We're adding the press conference segments in because I also could go off on.
I'm here for it
now for the management because then Mr. Puppy, who's just chilling all the way down there, Ollie, he got into some things. You know what? His chocolate incident. Then he got into this outdoor area with this grass. I don't know what it did, but it smelled awful. And you know what that led to? It led to some other awful outcomes, I should say. So I could almost be like, in this case, when we're talking about being a general manager, because that's what I feel like. I'm the general manager for Ollie.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about his performance? Things like this happen, but we're disappointed. We're trying to figure out how this happened. And maybe we got to look at the coaching at Jamie. Which you'll love that. No, can't put, that's the only coach you can't put pressure on right there. I can't put pressure on here. Maybe I got to look myself in the mirror, but how do we get him fixed? Because you know what? If that continues, it can really hurt somebody,
Dog's gonna have
physically?
a short life. With that.
Physically, mentally. Well, he's you know what makes him, Brad, is he's an adventurer and he gives you 110%. He does. And even though right now he's taking a couple plays off over there, in an instant, if I grab this ball, he's getting up and ready to rock and roll because that's what type of team player he is for this organization.
Favorite couch over there.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I got the talking points down right here. Yeah. You know, not good enough, you know? If I do it by how social media wants to be, you know what? We might let him go.
Everyone.
Yeah. We might be looking, we put him on the block. You know what? We're actually bringing in another golden retriever to see. And if that golden's better, then we're making a move.
We'll bring in what's your dad's dog's name?
Nash.
Let's bring in Nash and just see how he does.
Yeah, we're gonna put. We're bringing in pups for workouts.
Yeah,
we got a problem. You know, best of abilities, availability, and right now that's in question. But if I pick up this ball, Ollie is a real one. We would never. This is a hypothetical. With this, we're gonna have better post game interviews. No, I'm not trading. I know we're talking about. I'm not trading him. Okay, come after me. I'm a man.
I'm not leaving.
I'm 40. I'm not a kid. You don't even know which guy it is.
I know Gundy.
Wow, he did. 'Cause it's not a movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's sports. That's up my alley. I'm a man.
What? So sports movies you don't watch?
Yeah, you know, gets tossed in there. Wow.
Goodness gracious. See? Oh.
Oh God.
See, watch right now. If I red 7 this. Red 7. Hot route. Ollie, come. Look, just like that. Hey, Ollie. Yep. Go. Place. Nope. Place. Yep. Sit. Oh.
Well,
Had the itch.
yeah.
Sit. All right. Red 7. Red 7. Go. Further. No button hook. We're running a go. Go. Keep going.
Further.
Ollie, it's 4th and 19. You think a 4th and 5 completion's going to get this done? This isn't like back in the day.
He's got to weave around the pool table.
I know. This isn't like I remember when Kyle Bowler and Brian Billick, it'd be like 3rd and 19. It'd be a 3-yard pass. And it's, hey, come up short. Hey, keep going. Further. Yeah, there he goes.
Hey.
Nope. Keep going. Around. Ollie, go over there. Yes.
There we go.
Oh, he's deep. He's
All
deep.
you see is his face.
Should I throw it off the pick? Oh, I'm going to throw it off the pool table. See, or actually, I'll see if I can land it over here so we can see him.
All right.
Ready? Go. Up. Oh no.
Up there was
Did he
a
lose it?
fumble.
No, he got it.
Oh.
This is
There
why,
we
and this
go.
is why we can never trade him. Just when you think you're out on him, he comes back, and he's a good boy. He's a great boy. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, Nick, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Holly should take – I seen Alan say Brad should take Kevin's seat. Ollie should take Kevin's seat.
A lot of people firing Kevin today.
Yeah.
Kevin's been fired like 7 times today. He even got replaced by Ollie.
Goodness gracious. So what we have coming up later in the week, besides Iron Rooster, we might have a couple other guests that we're sitting down with. Some might have to be pre-recorded, but maybe involved with MLB Network.
Ooh.
We might have some live guests as well. Anything else that I'm missing here?
No, I think
I think that's good.
Hey, guys, well, we appreciate it. One more time on the way out, hit that like and subscribe button here at the Ryan Ripken Show. And, Brad, cue it. As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking Tuesday, and we'll be back all over again to do it on Wednesday. Cooking here with the Iron Rooster, talking sports with all you. See you guys. Ollie, go deep. Nope, he's done.